Welcome to the Rundown, everybody. This is Dr. Sierra, where we discuss all things running. This week's episode, we are talking about running on a treadmill versus running outdoors. Now, I probably have said this multiple times already in some of my other videos, but I am definitely a fan of running outdoors. It is just much better for me. I have always been an outside runner. I just enjoy it just way better than running on a treadmill. But let's talk about some of the reasons why. So let's start with running on a treadmill. I think that running on a treadmill can be beneficial depending on the person, depending upon your goal for running, depending upon how long you've been a runner. If you're trying to just maybe get into it, I feel like the treadmill may be a good place to start because one, you're able to regulate your speed. If you are new and you're like, I don't want to run at 5 or 6 miles per hour, I just want to get into it and I want to be able to slow myself down and stop. Perfect place for you to start is a treadmill. Now, if you are more of a seasoned runner and you want to maybe vary your inclination and you're like, I just want to start on an incline of 2% or 3%, whatever it is, you're able to do that on the treadmill, which I think is an added benefit because if you are trying to maybe prepare for a race, if you are trying to improve your speed, if you're trying to improve your endurance, all great ways of improving on the treadmill because you are in control of varying the speeds for however long it is that you want to do it for. And especially if you are a person who's trying to get some sprints in. Not to say that you can't do that outside. You can just maybe vary the speed a little bit more and you know the exact speed that you want to run at. You can do that on the treadmill and you can control how long you're running that speed. And it can just be a little bit more practice for you to do speed work. So the treadmill is awesome for that. The treadmill is also great if you are concerned about your knees or your hips or your ankles, anything maybe in your lower extremities of running outside. If you are dealing with the injury and you're trying to maybe recover, you're trying to come back from that injury and you're trying to prevent any future injuries. So you may just want to start on the treadmill because it is a better surface to run on versus running outside if you're not running on a rubber surface. So for those reasons, I know a lot of people choose the treadmill. They're like, I just can't run on pavement anymore. It tears up my knees. And I understand that. They have so many different treadmills now. So there are a lot of different options and you can kind of play around with the different types of treadmills that may motivate you a little bit more to run on the treadmill. It's just not for everybody. But the added benefit on the treadmill is that if you want to stop or come back to that run, or if you want to, like I said, play with the incline, if you want to, maybe do some backwards running, but you may be afraid of falling, you have those sidebars on the treadmill that can help you, but you can still get some backwards running in there. If you want to do some side running, it may be a little bit safer for you depending upon what your situation is, how much of an experienced runner you are. You may feel a little bit more secure on the treadmill. You may like that regulated speed that you can change and you can look at and you can see, okay, well, I've been running at this speed for 5 minutes. And if I want to stop and now go down to my cool down and do it at this speed. Some people are numbers people. You just need to see that visually so you can run and feel comfortable and you know exactly what you accomplished. Now, me, however, I am the outside runner. I use my watch. I use that to help me see how far I'm going. It does not tell me my speed per se, but if I maybe wanted to do like some calculations, it will tell me what my fastest mile was. It will tell me my distance. It will tell me my time that I've been running. But if that's not enough for you, then that's why you would want to go on the treadmill if you're that person that needs to say, I've been running 5 miles per hour for 30 minutes. So if that's the way that you run, then, whatever works, whatever is best for you, whatever you feel comfortable, whatever you feel like will get you to the finish line. Now, some of the reasons why I like running outside, one is because I'm just like an outside person. I like to see things while I'm running, other people running. You kind of wave at them while you're on the trail. It kind of motivates you because you're like, okay, well, I see that person doing it. I can do it too. I don't want to stop. Seeing them run in front of me kind of is just giving me motivation to keep going. So that's one of the reasons I just like to see things and people, not so much the animals, because I'm a little afraid of animals and I don't want anything to bite me. And I hate that when I'm running, sometimes I feel a little bit vulnerable because I don't want to have to take off with a sprint if I see a dog or some type of animal coming to me. So that's one of the downsides of running outside, but you can't always control everything. Now, another reason why I like running outside is because most of the time when you are going for a race, I know now post-COVID, there are a lot of virtual runs, and I think that that includes running on the treadmill. But if you are running a race that is outside, you're going to be outside. So why not practice in that same environment? You may not know the exact course, but at least you're practicing on running in that outside environment. One of the great things about running outside is that you can change your directions in terms of like running curves. If you need to maybe run up a hill, I know you can mimic that with the incline, but sometimes your body just feels a little bit different versus like an incline on the treadmill versus an incline on a hill. And if you think that there's no difference, then try. Like running on an incline on a treadmill is different because the height does not change. Like once you get to, let's say 5%, that's the incline that you're running. You're running on a hill, it's constantly going up depending upon the height of the hill. So it is definitely a lot harder. So I just feel like you can vary your runs a little bit more when you're outside because nature's unpredictable. So because of that reason, you kind of have to become, adapting to nature. So you have to run according to that. And even when you are just running in a straight direction, you still never know, like, if you have to run out of the way of something, or if there's a sidewalk that kind of goes down, you kind of just vary a little bit more, which I think prepares you better for when you are getting ready for your race. Now, also running outside, you mimic your natural gait pattern outside. The treadmill is telling you have to go at this speed, so it may not be natural. It may not be as comfortable. But running outside, because you are in control. You are the one who has to propel your body in order to be able to move forward. So it's more of a natural gait cycle for you. Yes, you're running, so you may be going a little bit faster, but it's still more natural than running on the treadmill. And I think that it is just more beneficial to run the most natural way if I'm preparing for a race or if I'm just running exercise. I want to be comfortable while I'm doing so. I'm not saying that you can't be comfortable, because those days when you have to run on the treadmill, whatever the case may be, you just need to get a quick run in, it's still a run. It may not be your most organic run because you're running on the treadmill, especially if you are used to running outside, but you just have to do whatever works for you. There are cons and pros to both of them. I think it just depends on whatever environment you feel the most comfortable. And I think it also depends on your goal. If your goal is to simply just run, it doesn't matter where you're running, outside or inside. If your goal is injury prevention, then I would suggest starting on the treadmill, especially if that is, something that you've been dealing with over time. If you've had injury after injury after injury, then running on the concrete may not be the best option for you. And outside, there's other options. You can run on a rubber track. It just all depends on what is available to you. So injury prevention, I would definitely say run on a treadmill. If you are running with other people, that's the other added benefit of running outside, that you need somebody to hold you accountable to run, then you want to run outside. You can't run with a group of people on treadmills. I mean, you could all start, but everyone doesn't run at the same speed. Even outside, everyone doesn't run at the same speed, but you can kind of stop and pick back up, but you can use those other people as motivation to kind of help keep you to run. So running in a group or, anything that has to do with multiple people, outside is going to win because it's more space. It's more convenient for multiple people to be able to run at the same time. Now, if you are running for speed, then the treadmill is going to win because you can vary the speed a lot more on the treadmill. You can crank it up really high and get some sprints in, and then, hop off to the side and then go back at it. So if you're working on speed work, I would say that you would be getting more out of your runs on the treadmill. Now, you can certainly do speed work outside again, it's going to feel a little bit different, but why not use the treadmill to your advantage in that case, where you can control the speed and the treadmill is going to kind of tell you, I need you to be going this speed for however long you choose. Now, at the end of the day, it will help you when you're on your runs. If you're trying to improve endurance, that's also another great way. And the treadmill, again, I think will win just because it's more regulated. Now, if you're outside and you're trying to work on endurance, not saying that you can't do it, you just may feel like, okay, well, I'm kind of getting tired here, I want to stop. But the treadmill, I think you have to put a little bit more thought into it. You obviously can just push the stop button, but you don't want to just stop so suddenly. You know, you want to kind of slow your body down, and outside is where you're able to do that. So I just think that it, again, truly depends on what your goal is for running. And you have to think about the cons and pros of both. Outside is the more convenient. So if you're looking for convenience, then the outside running is definitely going to win there. If you are looking to just like be able to get a run in every day, no matter what the situation, the treadmill is going to win there, because outside is unpredictable. You don't know what nature has to bring that day. If it's cold, it's raining, or if there's a snowstorm, or if it's extremely too hot outside to get a run in. That's where the treadmill wins. Now, I do think that because of outside, you know, the nature and everything, when I have my outside runs here in Texas, especially in the summertime, I pour out so much water when it's so hot, because your body is just trying to, you know, keep you cool. And that's what sweating does. You know, you're letting out the water that's in your body. So I think that you have to pay attention to hydration a lot more, depending upon where you're running, if you're running outside. So just, again, all things to think of while you're running, just to kind of keep it in mind. Maybe these are some points that you've never thought about, and you're just so used to running indoors, or maybe you're just so used to running outdoors. Whatever it is, I'm happy that you are moving your body and that you are running. So these are just a few pros and cons about running indoors versus outdoors. I would love to hear some of the reasons why y'all run, you know, indoor or outdoor. Let me know if you have any tips or anything for running indoors or outdoors. Just feel free to share in the comments below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And then we will see you next time on the Rundown with Dr. Sierra. Happy running!